Hello, you guys. Welcome back. If you are a new listener here, because on our guest episodes, we always get a couple new people trickling in. So, welcome to the wonder, the mess, the spectacle that we are and that kind of hot, kind of healthy is. I am I'm excited for this interview. We have Kate coming in and we'll talk about her in a minute and like what she does, who she is, but to give you guys a little intro. Like if you're here from Kate, you're like, I love her, saw it on her socials, however you found us. Welcome. Maddie, why don't you introduce yourself now that I have talked for a moment? Let's change up who they're hearing.
I am Maddie Martinez. I'm a women's health and fitness not coach, just like Allie. I work with high achievers, like I would say like 30 and up, women that have been using the extremes to get lean and strong. I help you create that balance and create that lifestyle where you can actually maintain it. And it's much easier to maintain a lean, strong body, not when you're chasing the extreme or chasing the next high of like a hard workout. But I am one half of the podcast.
You're one half of the podcast, your better half over here. My name is Allie Larrabee. I am also, as Maddie said, a women's health and fitness coach, and I help the women that are overwhelmed with weight loss. They've tried to lose weight, they've lost it in the past, and they keep gaining it back or can't lose the weight because they're too overwhelmed. They cannot figure out a routine that works. You try and do more because you want to lose the weight fast. It ends up backfiring. We work it out. Your routine right now, we got to like shake it through a sifter and take all the extra crap out that you don't need. And so if you want to connect with one of us, both of us, whomever, we'll drop our handles below that you can, connect with us over on Instagram. But the reason why we created this podcast is because we wanted to have a space to speak about the things that we care about, not only just health and fitness, mental health, different important topics, but we also love to gab. We love to just sit and talk about pop culture and things going on in TikTok. And so that is really what you get from us across the board. Like every episode, you're going to get hit with a little dose of something, laugh, cry, learn. You'll get the entire experience.
You'll get like living in Pittsburgh, you get all seasons, you get all
All seasons
seasons.
in 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, all the
Yes.
emotions.
Yeah, all every emotion in 1 hour to 1.5 hours.
Yes. Yes. Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
we all
so here for that.
oh, you already covered the pop culture, yeah, but we have a
Yep.
guest on every single month. They fluctuate between someone in health, like Kate today, or we have just like fun things like Madison Rowley we did for traveling, and we have lots more guests coming on. So we do have that. That's always dropped the second Wednesday of the month. We do one episode every single week.
We like predictability. We don't
Yes.
always know what we can give you, but every second Wednesday of the month, you know what you are going to get.
We predictably show up every Wednesday, but the
We'll
topic is
be there.
the
We'll be
topic
there.
unpredictable.
You open up YouTube, you open up Spotify, you open up Apple, we're there. I can't promise you what it will be, but when second Wednesday of the month, we do make a promise, and we have never missed a guest. So talk about being reliable. We
Oh,
deliver. We
we're
show
so
up.
reliable.
Yeah, we are.
Mhm. But,
Mm.
I try not
I've
to have
not
that.
drank enough water this morning.
No?
That's not good before an interview. I'm so like dry mouth right now. It's terrible.
Oh.
I this water bottle, okay, not sponsored. Maybe they should sponsor us. Yeti, which obviously it's not like a niche product. I put my water in last night with like a solid amount of ice, nothing crazy. I woke up, I took a big sip of it. It was so it hurt my fucking teeth. It was still so cold because I
Uh,
was expecting it to be like chilled. This
yeah.
was freezing. First thing in the morning, I was like, ah, I was gagged. I was gagged. It hurt.
I recently switched to all room temp water, because
Why?
stomach acid. So, like, whenever I drink cold
Ah.
water, my I'm like a bloated whale. I know
Wild.
it's really annoying with my stomach acid, so I'll switch to all room temp water. I'm drinking so much more water now because like if I drink cold water, I'm like like a balloon.
That's so weird.
I know it's annoying.
Wow.
Continuous problem we've been working on.
That's super wild.
Hmm.
That's and honestly, room temperature water is like the worst. I
I
mean, I
mean,
guess you don't mind it. You can't
I
mind
don't
it.
mind it now. I'm
You're
not like
used to it.
dehydrated. Yeah, now I'm like kind of used to it, but yeah, it's not as fun. But
Can you
like,
put like one ice cube in it?
I guess, but
Like, are you really trying to keep it at like a 68 degrees?
well, I mean, right now I just have like I don't drink the faucet water. I drink it out of the filter, so I have like a huge like 48 ounce. So I
The
fill
big
that up,
Brita.
and then
Oh, okay.
it's a filter in the thing. Like it's not the
Oh,
Brita, but it's in the fridge, like the filter on the fridge.
oh,
So I have a 48 ounce water bottle, so I fill that up and then let it sit out. So that I always have something like
oh.
filtered
I
and
would
room temp.
forget. Wow.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Mhm.
Dedication. That
Mhm.
that's a lot. Here I am just with my indestructible. Do you remember that story about the Stanley that this lady's car like caught on fire or some shit and the Stanley water was still ice cold? Like she shook it around and you could still hear the ice. Meanwhile, it was in like
No.
she was literally in a car wreck. I think she was totally okay. And then Stanley like bought her a new car. I'm like, is this a conspiracy? Is this an
Mm,
ad? Because she
maybe.
literally takes her Stanley out of the car and she's like, you can still hear the ice shaking around. I'm like, ma'am, your car was literally on fire. Like the car was woof, like on fire. Everything was charred. The plastic was melted. The Stanley still had ice.
That is crazy.
I don't
What
know.
a good
I don't know.
commercial.
If it's true, I don't know about all that, but you know what, kind of want to test that out. How do we test it out? I don't really know how to do that safely, but
Uh, there's no way.
maybe you could get like a little kid's like toy car and set it on fire. I don't know. Call me crazy. For
Uh,
scientific purposes only.
yes.
Yeah, no pyromania here. Actually,
Uh,
when I was a kid, side tangent, I loved fire. I used to light
really?
everything on fire. Yeah, yeah, all the time.
Like what?
Um, Like if it was in the house, I would like light pretzel rods on fire. I would just like turn the stove on. I was just very fascinated with like burning things.
Uh-huh.
Um, never lit anything like on fire that got out of hand.
That's good.
So, but I don't know. I just was always so fascinated with it. Like, and I always wanted to do
Mhm.
like a coal walk, like a hot coal walk. I just like I'm
Mm.
fascinated with fire. Like I like to put my finger in the candle wax, like when it's lit, and
Oh,
then you
I have a
like
bad
peel it
story about
off.
that.
Oh,
Oh.
what?
I remember my mom was like, blow out the candles, like in the house.
Oh
And
no.
I can't remember exactly what I did, but I think I like blew like really hard or something, and the wax went all over my face. I just remember like
Like were you like over it, just like,
I can't remember. Like I just
oh my
remember
God.
like walking up to it and then like the explosion, like wax everywhere, and it was so hot. I just remember I was like crying. I was
Oh
oh,
no. Oh, that's
not a good
horrid.
memory. Oh.
Not good. There is a difference between expecting, like, when you go to like get a pedicure and they put like the hot stones on you or the hot towel,
Mm,
you're expecting it. Like, it's hot, but you're
mhm.
like, okay, versus like if you just got fucking like slapped in the face with that, it's like, wow. Oh my God.
Literally, literally.
I don't blow out candles. I just put the cover on them.
I haven't
I
lit a candle in
smoke them out.
forever.
That makes sense for you. That does make sense for you. I don't need to
Smoke 'em out.
explain, but that makes sense for you. She's like literally just going into people's houses and blowing out candles. But I don't
Ow.
buy like Bath and Body Works candles. Like I buy very high quality candles. But I also don't
Mm,
let them light for long. And when I use a candle, I have the windows open because like it's like
mm,
the fresh air in, got to get the stale air out, put a little candle moment.
yes.
She's cute.
We don't have to like keep chatting forever until Kate's here, but oh, I don't want to make the intro so long. They're like, when is she coming? But I did wanna share, I'm meeting when does this come out? We should, like, really have it, like, written down. I know I emailed it to her whenever we did it. August?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
August.
2nd. I should always remember, it's, like, 2 ahead. Um, so by this time, who knows, where I will be with current dating life.
Mm.
But yesterday was eBay Man's birthday, and he's having a joined, like, joint, not joined, joint birthday dinner with his friend who shares I don't think it's the same day, I think it's, like, a day or off. So, I'm meeting all these people, like, I've literally never met in my life, and here's me going to get work done on my neck at the chiropractor today, not thinking, I'm just like, "I'm just going to get work done." Well, I got cupping done, also not thinking about it. Let me tell you, this is why you need to be on the YouTube channel, by the way.
Yeah, be on the YouTube.
Look at this. It is, like, swollen and how I was like, "What am I gonna wear?"
You
I
like
mean,
have
I don't
pepperonis all over your body.
right? I mean, like, I don't care, but, like, also it's kinda funny,
Yeah,
like,
but like
it is
that's
what it
not
is.
it's not
It
really
is what
that
it
cute to
is.
be walking around like that. You got to wear like something that covers that up.
It's so hot today. It's, like, 80
Well, honestly,
something.
bad planning.
I
You're
know, but
gonna meet these people with pepperonis all over your body. Like it looks like big pepperoni nips.
maybe
Not you don't have pepperoni nips. It looks like you have pepperoni nips on your body. Like, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Like when a guy has
I
huge pepperoni
know.
nipples,
I
it's insane.
know.
Nick Jonas has huge pepperoni
Oh,
nipples.
yeah, he
Or
does.
was that picture edited? No, I think it was real.
Can we put a picture of that up? And they're just huge.
But oh my god, what are you gonna wear?
Tube top. I don't
Bold.
know.
They'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this girl?"
Listen, it could be worse.
It could, you know what? It could be better.
I don't
It'll be
know.
fine. It'll
It
be
is what it
fine.
is.
You'll
That's
be
your
fine.
humor for today. So
Yeah.
that's all I got for you.
Well, that's all I got. Should we just mini intro Kate or just pause and wait until she gets here?
The latter.
Latter. All right, we'll see you guys in the interview.
Ready. Well, welcome, Kate. I am super excited to have you with us. I feel like I can't remember. I want to say the first time I like met you was in the mastermind. So
I
like
think
when was
so.
that? Do you remember when that?
Um, I I feel like I was in the mastermind briefly before I got pregnant. So
Mm-hmm.
20, maybe like the very beginning of 2023. But then
Oh wow.
I like was not in it throughout pregnancy and early postpartum and then came back in September of last year.
Gotcha. Okay. So for all of our new listeners or you guys who are coming here from Dopamine Diaries, Kate's is a very interesting individual. I remember like just from hearing your story and going from, being a bodybuilder to like a neuro health to a neuro, not like, but to a neuro health coach. I thought that was quite fascinating. And I have seen a lot of the things that you talk about when it comes to nervous system regulation, things that I've struggled with on my own, and I've seen clients because Allie and I both work with women, but
Mhm.
struggle with the same things that you talk about and that you have struggled with, that other coaches really aren't talking about or won't touch with like a 10-foot pole
Yeah,
because they haven't experienced it or they just like are very unaware. And being in the health world, we see how much it's just like macros, steps, workouts. And I didn't know you were a pro. Were you a pro bodybuilder or just
absolutely not. I was not. I was not a pro.
you
No.
looked like it?
Well, thanks, but no, I very much an amateur. No, but I mean, that's getting into bodybuilding is what kickstarted my whole like caring about health and even
Mhm.
understanding macros and just everything else that starts to open up when you go down that rabbit hole. So,
And I thought also was fascinating because I really resonated with this was your career in like the regular corporate world and just
Mm,
and I see myself a lot in there. Like if I never had like a regular job, I just went straight into like the health field. I
yeah,
have a feeling that if I was in the corporate world, I my trajectory would have been very similar to yours, where it was like crash and burn, but you're at the top of the ladder. And
yep,
as a
mm.
result, your health is at the bottom of the
yep,
ladder.
yep.
Um, but I just thought, I think you're a very interesting person, and that's why we were like, we need to talk to Kate,
Yeah.
and talk about all these things. So, kind of kick us off. Like, where do you want to start with?
I mean, I guess I can kind of expand on a little bit of what you said. I feel like I'm 35, but I feel like I've lived so many lives.
Mhm,
I feel like what I really resonated with you that you've been more talking about openly recently is divorce, because I've also been divorced, and
mhm,
that's a chapter. That's a chapter of someone's life, right? It definitely like shifts who you are. But yeah, I mean, I got into health and wellness. I just went straight from just everyday living, not really knowing the importance of protein, definitely not tracking food, partying on the weekends too, Tupperware meals, gallon jugs. It was like the Dana and Bailey, like
mhm.
early era, like that era where everybody wanted the short hair. Everybody wanted bolder shoulders. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Everybody wanted the Flag Northvale stuff. Like we all would
Yes.
watch her YouTube videos. And so like that was my intro into health and fitness. And like the classic high achiever, I went very all or nothing into it right at the jump, right? It's bodybuilding. I want to go as far as I can, as quick as I can. Interesting.
That was iconic.
That was great.
All right, well, cool. And at the time, like my ex-husband's a professional bodybuilder. So it just made sense for me to
Oh.
like, yeah, it just like
Mm,
made sense for me to like pursue that.
Mhm,
But I was also fresh out of college and trying to establish a career, right? I needed to work. I wanted to utilize my degree and I wanted to start paying off student loans. So I was very torn between like pursue this hobby that seems really fun but won't pay me anything, or put my head down and like make a name for myself in the corporate space. So I tried to do both, like many high achievers do, and found myself burning out at both ends. Ended up walking away from bodybuilding because I had this opportunity career wise to like make multiple six figures. I was in a job where I knew instantly I could really do well there. And it was in a male dominated industry as well. So I felt that competitive edge to like prove
mm,
myself. Blew
mhm,
up there and simultaneously tanked my health because, and this is what I see most common now in the health spaces, especially with like macro tracking. When women spend a lot of time and that's like their gateway into learning about health, then when you try and encourage them to live their life outside of that, it becomes this feeling of like, well, I don't know how to eat. Like, I don't know
mhm,
what to do to take care of myself. And that's what I ran into when I decided to pursue my career and let go of bodybuilding. My health got the worst it's ever been. I was probably compared to now, it's still probably like 95 pounds heavier than I am now. Um, Drinking all the time, eating fast food all the time, absolutely not exercising. And my mental health reflected that too. But hey, I was successful. I was making bank, doing all those things, getting the awards, getting the trips, the plaques, all that. So I finally like reached a breaking point for a lot of different reasons. Went through a divorce, went through many, many different like life changes, and then just kind of decided like, one, I hate corporate. I hate working for someone else. I'm miserable. And I just feel like when you go through such as a divorce, I feel like you also just kind of wake up to the fact that like, if I'm not happy, what am I doing? So
mm.
it was the beginning of the pandemic. And I was still, at that time, I was in medical device sales. And I said, I'm just going to start coaching people because I had actually dabbled in coaching people in 2013 when I was bodybuilding, but it was very much like Tupperware meals. Like it was very rigid and it just like wasn't, it was for people that wanted to compete. So at the beginning of 2020, like right when the world shut down, I said, I'm going to open a business. And I had just closed down a different business that I had created and built myself. It was a handmade jewelry business. And that's a whole different tangent we could go down. But I just was stuck in a room all night making jewelry by hand, and it was successful, multiple six figures. But I was like, this isn't it for me. Like, this is not it for me. So 2020 came and I joined a business mentorship group. You're probably familiar with it, definitely familiar with it. And I don't know if I should say it, but um, I started my business and I was like the classic macro coach, just like
mhm.
Mm,
here are your macros, here are your workouts, weekly check-ins. But I remember at the very beginning stages of that, I kept talking about mindset. And at the time, in that era of health and fitness coaching, mindset wasn't being pushed the way that it was now.
Right.
We had in 2020, we had the health mindset coaching certification come in with Dr. Casey Joe. Like she came up on the scene, and like I'm pretty sure 2020 was her first round of that. So like that started to drip into the space a little bit, and people started seeing like, there's definitely a little bit of a mindset component to health. But I had been saying that to my clients. In fact, the name of my coaching business, M and M Coaching, mind over muscle, like focusing on the mind first, that
Mm.
was, I knew that that was eventually going to be where I landed. I just wasn't quite
Mhm.
sure what it meant for me yet. And it took a couple years of, I mean, I posted a reel about this morning about macros and just my frustrations as a coach, seeing so many women crash and burn and just struggle and like make the fact that they struggle with macros mean something so significant about themselves
Mhm.
when it has nothing to do with that. It was everything to do with their ability and their bandwidth to even do it consistently. So all those years later, I just landed into where I am now. I tell people now that having a baby, having a daughter is really what forced me to do the what people call burning your business down and redoing it. I did that while I was pregnant. I stopped taking clients. I had already gained a lot of different like credentials that focused around like neuroscience in the body, not so much weight loss, but I kind of felt like an imposter still with that. So I was just doing it on the side, but not really making it what I do. And then, yeah,
Mhm.
postpartum came and I was nap trapped more than I wasn't nap trapped. And I was like, if I'm really going to do something every day that makes me happy, it's going to have to be this. And that's where we are
Mhm.
now. I run a group program. I don't do any weight loss coaching anymore. And I focus entirely on the health and resiliency of people's nervous systems and brains and how those connect and what that means for their life outside of just what they look like, but their career, their home life, their experiences as mothers. And yeah, it's been a really interesting journey of many, many seasons and many iterations of the coach that I am now. But I mean, you hear me talk about it in the mastermind. It's one of those things where I'm like, man, like when you find the thing that like really lights you up, it
Mhm.
just feels effortless and it just feels so
Mm.
light and you have so much joy around it. And coming from what coaching was like in 2022, where I just hated having to have the same conversations with women and hearing them voice to me their frustrations, just to remember that and then see where I am now as a mother, as a successful business owner, and like doing what I really feel most aligned with is worth all of the seasons and all of the
Mhm.
chapters, all of the, frustrations and having to change. So yeah, that's where I say we could start.
I think that's a really important journey because, like, in 2019 is when I started my business. And we can talk about, I don't know which mentorship you were in, but I am curious because I was in one in 2019 and it was very much this present day version of myself cringes. I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
that
it'll
is
talk.
IFCA.
Yeah, same.
Perfect. I kind of had a feeling. I was like,
I
I
thought it
think,
was.
yes.
Yeah, that's no, definitely same. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just like I think about the women who I work with today and how it was just like, oh, if you're having trouble with a client, just tell them, we'll just break down the macros by this and we can just, try and take it like one step at a time when there was no really like, well, maybe this doesn't work for them. And maybe we have to figure out why this isn't working and what's really the block here. And what are even your goals? Like it just didn't allow us to like get super deep. And so it's always interesting to see the transition or the evolution, I will say, of coaches that I was in that mentorship with to see how like we have grown and just developed into like such deeper coaches because there are a lot of coaches that I was in that like my round with that are still very much the same. And
Oh.
that's great for you. Whatever, like live your life, but for me I'm just like that feels really shallow. Like I love that
Mhm.
you go so deep and you just like keep going and going and going and evolving and I think that's just really inspiring because at every level like people need a coach and you're on that really deep level. And so I think that's really cool. I feel like I might just be like pretending now in my head, but I feel like I remember seeing like a post of yours like in the group or something.
And
Now that I heard that you were in it, I'm like, am I like gaslighting myself? I was like, yeah, no, I knew that. Like I can't remember, but probably.
what post? Do you remember anything about the
No,
post?
no, it wasn't bad. It was like,
Oh, like
oh,
from me.
you know, like Kate did this, this, and this. And it was like using for like promo. Like she made X amount of money and X amount of
Oh,
things. And
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember.
Maybe. Well,
Who knows?
here's the thing with IFCA. And so this is where like I when I decided to do IFCA, it wasn't because I wanted them to tell me how to coach. I will never forget. I hopped on the phone with one of the owners and I said to him, I was like, cool, like I don't care how much it costs. Like I have the money, just send me the invoice. It's like, but what I need
Yeah.
to know is, are you going to tell me what software to use, what platforms I just need you to tell me the systems. I joined IFCA to get the systems, to understand,
Yeah.
okay, we're using Loom, we're using Adobe for this, we're using Trainerize for this. And like looking back, I opened up my business and coach full time while also being a medical device rep full time. I did both. So like
Wow.
I didn't have the capacity to like sit down and figure it out. I just wanted to be
Yeah.
told, right? And it
Yeah.
was again, it was when the world shut down. So I was like, just tell me the systems, order, structure feel really safe for me right now because what the hell is going on outside
Yeah.
of these four walls, right? Like
Yeah.
it's very easy. It's like even when you look at the coaching industry from then until now, I think because it's not just me, it's not just other people that are like seeing the urge to like do something else other than my fitness pal this my like it's just like for me it's like my daughter, and it's no shade, like I think it's a great tool, but there's nuance to it. And for me
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't need to use it. I've done this so long. If I'm using my fitness pal, it's probably because I'm trying to micromanage my weight. And why do I want my daughter to see me doing that? And I don't want to have to hide it from her either. Like that just seems dumb to me. But if we look at the coaching space then till now, I feel like I'm very observant with, because I'm connected to all of these health coaches because of that. I like to stay in the know of what's going on, even though I don't do that anymore. But I like to stay in the know. And I feel like the shift that we're seeing is very much people want more freedom. People want more flexibility. People want
Mhm.
less rigidity. Like people want less pressure, and
Mhm.
especially women. And when I became a mother, holy cow, did I finally understand. When I first started coaching, I always said, you could look back on my page and just probably see me say it all over the places. I'm not a mom, but moms hire me and I don't quite know why, right? I would always say that the majority
Mhm.
of my client roster were mothers. And I
Yeah.
never really understood that, but it always stuck out to me. And I would remember, I would give them that like childless coach advice that now I can see as a mom, like that's the gap that I think people are missing. And that's exactly why
Mm.
I do what I do. Because as a mother now, I will tell you, even though I know what I need to do, you couldn't like the actual bandwidth to do even some of the most basic things when you are wrangling a toddler and also managing a career and also managing the house. Like it's truly not there. And that was the gap that I kept seeing with all of my clients when I was coaching. And I just kept feeling like I'm either failing them as a coach or I'm missing something. Like I should
Mm.
be able to help them do these very basic things because to me they seem so obvious to do.
Mhm.
But it all came down to what I know now, and what most people struggle with is, even like the nervous system is becoming a very like trendy thing, unfortunately.
Mm.
See everybody talking
Yeah.
about it. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But like, there's way more nuance to that than just be regulated. Like it's kind of frustrating. It's becoming the trend that it is because like if you don't know how to support someone's very specific system and their responses, like it can create a bit more harm than good. But
Mm.
the fact that it's trending that way right now tells me like, okay, people are finally starting to see like it's not about needing the perfect plan or needing the perfect like I don't know, like meal split or like you said, like break the macro. If you're struggling with the macros here, break them down this way. Like
Yeah.
not that like anyone can do math. Like nobody's dumb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Mhm.
like I don't buy for a second that anyone that comes to us looking for a coach is coming to us because they lack the intelligence or the awareness on how to take care of themselves.
Mhm.
We don't
100%.
need to educate them. Like they know. They're coming to us because they're trying to figure out why they can't just do it every day. And that's a
Mhm.
Mhm.
capacity issue. That's a
Mhm.
bandwidth issue. That's not a, well, your carbohydrates aren't right or you need to have refeeds on the week. Like it's none of that. But
Right.
that's what people are starting to wake up to now, which is amazing. But when the box, like the very, people call it like the bro style coaching, like
Yeah.
I've just been watching. I feel like, and I don't know if you guys feel it too or see it too. Like, I feel like so many people are starting to like resist that style, like resist that just like really rigid, weigh yourself every day, track every single ounce of data and biofeedback that you can, and like be completely reliant on that every single day, no matter what. I'm seeing it. I don't know if you guys are, but I think it makes so much sense given how the world has shifted too, and just what
Yeah.
people crave safety. And I feel like it's really hard nowadays to feel that no matter what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's just there is so much more available knowledge out there that a lot of people they know they can do it easier. It doesn't have to be so intense like they maybe did 10 years ago. And you're right. Like, it's not that they don't know how to do it because you could research, you could learn. Like, everybody has the ability to do that, but it comes down to that capacity. And that it's just so important. Like, I saw one of your reels, you were like, don't call me a mindset coach. And then you were like showing everything that you've done. And it is so true because it's a little scary, but you'll go on Instagram and you see mindset coaches. You see people talking about things that they have no business talking about and
Yeah.
they're not qualified. And it was the same thing with like gut health. And
Oh yeah.
there's going to be something that comes after this. And it's
Hormones, all
hormones.
Yeah.
that.
Every mofo like gets on their IG and they act like they know everything. And the truth is, like, you don't be that imposter because you're right. Like, you might not be able to help somebody, but you could actually be doing more
Hurting.
damage. So I think it's like important for you to share what you are sharing because like I would have no business doing what you're doing and that's not a bad that doesn't make me like a bad thing. What would make it bad is me going online and being like, we should do this for nervous system regulation. It's like, bitch, who are you to talk about that? Like that would be wild. But yeah, like I said, I really just I love your evolution as a coach. I think that is such an important part of like who you are and your whole backstory because like we all have the catalyst and like Maddie has talked about with her divorce and just like seeing like in her eyes like if you guys go back to like I don't know probably like episode let's call it episode 30 on there was a lot of there was unfortunately a lot of sadness in your eyes
Yeah.
and
Really?
to oh yeah, it was like there was a lot of drained energy and everything was hard and sometimes we would sit after we would record and like talk for like an hour and then as soon as she started moving through her divorce it was like all of a sudden like you had this trajectory change and so of course it makes sense you have a
Mm.
huge trajectory change in your business. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I
love
mean,
that.
I'll have to go back to those episodes. I'm kind of
It's
See,
I
depressed
feel
Maddie.
I feel so sad for that version of you. I really do because you in that moment we were happy, we were laughing, but seeing who
Hmm.
you are today, it is a
Hmm.
stark difference because this is the authentic, happy you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't remember. I can't remember when, but it was like literally like I feel like a flip switched.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it really was. Like we were just podcasting, and I was just like, "Oh, this is like my new
Yeah.
normal." And
Yeah.
and Kate, with your background, with your divorce and past like relationship trauma, like not that ours was any near close, but more of just of like I can resonate with like the death of a relationship, like, that is excruciating, but it's
Mhm.
also, like, the capacity, like, when you talk about capacity, I just think back to, like, when we were podcasting in the early days and just in general with, like, my health, I'm like, I had 0 capacity for anything, like, literally, I am just, like I have, like, a paper on my wall, and it was literally like 3 things I have to do every day. And Lacey, our mutual mentor for all of us, it was heal, take care of your clients, show up on social media. That
Yeah.
was it. Like that's all I could do. And it's just very much, I think there's so much of an importance of what you're teaching clients, because if you don't have any bandwidth or any extra capacity for anything, like any new thing, and it doesn't matter what it is, like it's not gonna happen. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
literally not gonna happen. And this was like the biggest thing in my life so far, besides getting sick when I got sick, of like truly feeling what a lot of my clients have probably felt like when they don't have the capacity to add one more thing. Like
Mm.
speaking from experience and what you have experienced too, and Allie with agoraphobia, like it's just like if I had the tools now that I do have them, but for clients had them, if I had the tools earlier, I'm like, damn, like I could have moved through it so much faster having the tools now that I have.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, divorce is one of the divorce, or whether it's any other life event, it's the death of a relationship, but I also feel like it's the death of a part of your identity, like a part of the
Mhm,
identity that you had as the woman in that marriage, right? I don't even say
mhm.
the word wife. I just don't want to talk about it. But like the woman in that, just
Yeah.
that's we don't give that space. But the woman in that relationship, right? So it's an identity death. It's a death to part of our ego too, right? Because the societal pressure and like what will people say, and
Mm-hmm.
I grew
Mhm,
up super religious. I'm surrounded by a very religious family, so it just felt like this thing, this just like scarlet letter that you carry around
mhm,
all of the time, right? And so what you're saying is like, not having capacity. I think our biggest opportunity as coaches, whether regardless of what type of coaching that you do, but our biggest opportunity as coaches is to guide our clients to a deeper level of awareness around what they're feeling. Because again, regardless of whether it's divorce, health issues, career issues, friendship losses, trauma, whatever it may be, all of those things impact our capacity, AKA our ability to feel safe doing things and exerting energy on the stuff that we need to be doing. Your
mhm,
list, it's yes, you didn't have capacity. Really, what that gets to be interpreted as like your body was utilizing all of the energy it had to keep you alive because it was feeling the
mhm,
pressure of every other external factor in your life. And if we can help our clients understand, like, hey, there's going to be different seasons of your life. There's going to be different days of the
Mm-hmm.
week where you wake up and you feel like you've got 300% battery charge. And then you wake up the next day and you've got 10%. If we can shift your mindset into believing that that 10% and that 300% are the same level of success because we've
Mm.
honored what you have to give, what does that do?
mhm,
It eliminates the shame. It eliminates the, well, what's wrong with me? It eliminates the,
mhm,
well, why can't I just show up and do more than these three
Mm.
things?
Yes.
You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the shame and the guilt and like the stories and the narratives that we give ourselves about what we are struggling with and what capacity we have, our clients, right? If the people that listen to this are mostly clients and less coaches, well, what I would want you guys to know is if you can better connect to your body and listen to what it's telling you and not create shame or guilt or you should be or why can't you be perfect, because all that is just old programming from
Mhm,
whatever you've experienced, whoever led you to believe that, whatever caregivers or adults that you had, and how you were rewarded or praised or not abandoned. And that's all work that's meant to be done in a much deeper container. But if you can understand that your bandwidth, capacity, whatever you want to use, is going to fluctuate on a day to day basis. And if you can meet that with compassion, you will be more successful in the long term. You will find it's so much easier to just eat normally and maintain
Mm.
a healthy physique that's not dependent on my fitness pal and a food scale,
mhm.
which is exactly the reel that I posted today. And everybody is all up in arms about. Of course, go figure, right? But
Yeah.
like if we can help women, I'm assuming you guys mostly work with men or women. Do you work with men at all?
No men.
Rare occurrence.
Same, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck
Very
'em, not kidding.
but like if women can understand that, like, hey, it doesn't matter if like you only have so much to give today, like that gets to be your 100%. And the sooner that they can feel safe giving that, the building the safety around it is the actual work. And that's what I realized in all of these iterations of my coaching needed to happen for women, because it was never about like well, I can't be disciplined enough. Well, I just can't track my food enough. I need to work out harder. I need a new split, Kate. I need to do more cardio, or there must be, I need to get blood work done. The scale's not moving. No, like your body just doesn't feel safe to change. So you can throw all these inputs at it that you want, but you're living in a state of 24/7 hypervigilance, 24/7 fear and shutdown because of these personal things in your life, because of the ego death, the identity death that you're experiencing. And if you can just understand that your body's not a robot, your body is also the human being that you are experiencing. And if you can meet that where it's at, guess what? A lot of the intensity of what we're feeling, it loses its power. Things get quieter. The noise in our head starts to go down. We start to wake up with better energy. We don't wake up with like a tight chest and racing thoughts. We actually go to bed instead of laying there at night with our heads just like spiraling, right? But feeling exhausted anyway. And I think that's, again, regardless of what type of coaching that you guys do or anyone does, the whole point of coaching is to be able to guide the clients to their own truth and understanding. It's not to tell them what to do. And so if we can help them understand and better connect to their bodies, that's being a good coach, regardless of how deep you want to go, because that's what most coaches aren't doing. It's follow this plan, do this thing, track this metric. Don't forget to weigh in here. And here's your spreadsheet. Let's look at it. Here's your gold star for doing good, while they're silently falling apart. Why is this happening?
I don't know, but I feel like I'm gonna cry. I don't know why. And then your confetti is going off.
If you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, this is another reason why you need to be. I need to add in, that was like such a good
Did
monologue.
that just make you feel so seen? Like I'm literally, I can feel like
you look like you're crying.
I'm like that. I was just like, oh my God, like everybody, I'm gonna go back and listen to that.
I know. I need to add
points. Like,
yes.
Exactly. Like that's exactly. Yes, I post the polarizing. Like someone came into my DMs today, like with the Aura Ring post that I made, and she's like, "This feels like polarizing clickbait," and I'm like, "Well, this sounds like a projection, and if it." I mean, it's, of course it has to be polarizing. What are we doing on Instagram? We're mindlessly scrolling to avoid our lives and our feelings. So if you want me to post the hey girl stuff and not get your attention, sorry, but like, she tried to argue like I'm not dependent on the data and I'm also connected to my body. I'm like, I'm really actually thrilled that that's your reality, but it's not the reality for most women. Right. We will outsource our power and our presence and our own like intuition to, well, my Aura Ring app says that I'm not recovered today. So that like weird feeling I had to like be creative or like start that new hobby, better wait till tomorrow. Well, what do? We rob ourselves. We rob ourselves of joy, right? At the expense of, well, so-and-so said, well, this ring told me I must not be good enough. And then we wait until the ring tells us we're good enough. Hello. So many.
It ain't ever going to be good enough. Like
they're always trying to control us.
You're going to find a way. Like you could have, the best sleep score and all this sort of bullshit. And then you look at something, you're like, oh, well, it could be better. You see someone posted something and you get just like into this spiral. And it really is so contagious because, right, like you have so much information at your fingertips, which can be a great thing. It can also be a really overwhelming thing. And for like high achieving women, for women that want to take control, they're ready, like they can take it on. That is like the death. You're like, oh my God, like I could just dive into this. And I love the when people like the polarizing content when people are like, well, that doesn't, that's not me. It's like, okay, I'm talking about this for the masses, not the exception. Like that's great that you're the exception, but like you're probably also falling into this a little bit because you're getting very
on the axle about it.
Triggered. Oh man.
I have to share this because it's like exactly what you're talking about. And this happened to me yesterday. So I work with Lacey and we have a call once a month on like, we do like somatic work / like business because at the end of the day, it's all connected.
Roll it in.
Your business is like your body. Let's be real.
We can pretend it's not, but it is.
It is. I've been seeing this guy, we call him eBay man, and
Oh yeah, I've been reading about eBay man in your
yeah,
emails. Mhm.
yes, yeah. I'll give you some off the record information
Yeah,
after
I
the
need the
podcast.
official tea when we're done.
Yes.
Yes. But it was his birthday yesterday and we were together and he was like and he was his friend asked him to go to lunch and he was like, "Oh, you should just come with us and meet him." I was like, "Oh, like okay." And like in my mind, the high achieving mind, I was like, "I got to get home. I got to get work done." Like I am someone who is very routine. Like you know this. I am basically your ideal client. Very routine, sticks to it. Like I got to get stuff done. I'm like in my head, I'm like, I got to work out. I got to get my steps. I got to track my food. That's how my brain is. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is kind of a big deal. He wants me to meet one of his friends. Like, and
Ooh.
I know. And he's not allowed to listen to this, so like I'm fine with saying anything. I told him he's not allowed to.
We love another boundary. We love that.
Yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
respects it. I was happy about that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. And I went and I told myself, like, I can just get my work done efficiently when I get home. I can work out, like I can not scroll and just be efficient. And so I went, it was such a good time. And I went to the bathroom before we left, and I was just like looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm just so happy. Like I had such a good time. Like we had such a good converse. It was just so fun. I came out of the bathroom and they were sitting down still and he was like, "You're glowing." He's like, "You are so cute." He's like, "Did you do something in the
Gagged.
bathroom?"
I'm
I was like,
gagged.
"No." He's like, "You were so cute," in front of his friend. I was like, "Thank you." But like I was genuinely so happy. So happy and like it showed. Like it literally showed on my body
It
how
is leaking out of you. You cannot stop it.
yes, I felt so safe to not be consistent, not be productive, and not and to enjoy life. Like, why am I running a business if I am like going handcuffing myself to the fucking chair in my dark room, like not having fun and enjoying life? And that was, and I was talking to Lacey about it, and she was saying, like, this is the integration work. This is
Yep.
the work that you have to do to allow your body to feel
Yep.
safe. And this is such like, I just, as soon as you brought
Yep.
that up, I was like, ah.
I'm glad. So I'm glad you used that word without me having to point that out, because when you said you came out of the bathroom glowing, I just wanted to be like, that's because you felt safe. Like you're not glowing. You are,
Mhm.
you feel safe, right? You're
Mhm.
at peace. You feel open to receive. You feel,
Uh-huh.
you feel playful, you feel flirty, like that's safety. And you only realize that because you allowed yourself to kind of stay in the discomfort a bit more. So I tell clients this all the time. And I say I have to use this for myself all the time too. Is just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not safe. I say that multiple times,
Mm.
multiple times a
Oh,
day.
Allie, you need that one.
Like,
Oh.
put it on a post-it note. Just because it's
Yes.
uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not safe, right?
Mm,
Because how many times do we shy away from very easy, non-threatening things simply because we're unfamiliar with them? Well, I don't have any
mhm.
experience not handcuffing myself to my laptop and like just going to happy hour and just YOLO, 3 martinis later. Like I have no experience with that on a Tuesday.
Right.
How dare I, right? But because it doesn't feel familiar, a lot of the times we naturally, and when I say we, there's a difference between you logically know that you would have been safe to go do exactly that, but you felt physical resistance around doing it. That's the
Mhm.
disconnect, and that's the disconnect that most people don't understand. Or when they feel that physical resistance, they're like, there must be a problem with me, and if I can just chase more knowledge, chase another tool, find another
Mm.
reason, I can bombard past that discomfort and force my way into it. But it never works, right? This is the same reason why people that are having like anxious thoughts, I always use, like, I did a workshop on Monday. I love doing workshops, love them. Logically, my favorite thing to do over coaching. But I had so much anxiety at the beginning of that because this is a new group of people. It was a lot of people. It was probably the largest group I've ever done a workshop for. And if I would have tried to talk myself out of that anxiety, it would have made it worse. Anytime we try and talk
Mm.
ourselves out of a feeling, it
Yep.
makes it worse, because the feelings that we interpret up here as I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm sad, I'm not sure, I'm happy, whatever it may be, all start below. They all start in the body. And if you can give
Mhm.
yourself, to her point on the integration, if you can give yourself those moments of being in the in between, being in the what I like to call living in the gray, right? Not all in,
Mm.
not all out, and like being completely shut down and not going on the date or doing your business, because that's where some people can teeter back and forth. But if you can let yourself be in the middle and really stay in that feeling. The other thing that people mess up is they'll have those moments. They'll have that moment in the bathroom. Wow, this feels pretty good. And it'll feel good for a moment, and then they'll overthink it, or they'll
Mm.
second guess it, or they'll start to sabotage it,
Mm,
or they'll immediately go to, well, let me just like feel this weird, this happiness feels suspect. Something's going to happen, right?
mm,
Let me fill this with something to distract. It's
mhm,
like you're giving yourself just like a drip of the integration versus just like fully
Mm.
letting yourself, your body be dunked in it. And when you can just
mhm,
like, it's like when you can let that safety and that peace and that joy and that just like, I feel so happy, when you can feel that and notice it go from your head all the way down to your toes, like
Mm.
actually imagine what it would feel like to travel through your body. That's giving your body the evidence that it needs, that it can step outside of these other patterns of high achieving, overworking, perfectionism, all or nothing, and still survive and still have money and still be able to accomplish things and still get clients, right? That's the part
mhm,
that, again, people know to do. Nobody needs to be told that that's probably the medicine, but the medicine feels icky. The medicine feels gross. The medicine
Mm.
feels uncomfortable. So just because it's uncomfortable does not mean it's unsafe. Like one of these days, I'm probably going to get that like added to a tattoo somewhere, because
mhm,
I mean, I wake up and I have to repeat that to myself all of the
Yeah.
time. And it's the same thing with clients, but it's when you can be in that in between and really give your body, not your brain, those little moments, what I like to call micro moments of just presence, of just noticing, of just breath, of just, when's the last time, let me ask you, when's the last time you cried happy tears?
hmm.
It's already taken too long. It's already taken
I
too
think
long.
I think last weekend I
Okay.
laughed. I was
Okay, that's
laughing
good.
so hard. I was crying and I
Oh,
could not
Love.
stop.
Father's
Oh,
Day. Father's
Father.
Day.
Okay.
I got high as hell with my mom at dinner. We took
Um,
edibles and went to a gay bar after.
Oh, what a vibe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love that.
honestly, she gave FOMO. I'm like, well, I would kind of like to be there. Just let me know next time and I'll just get in my little car. Um, that is a really good question. I like that a lot because like how we don't think about that. I don't think I've
No.
ever thought about when's the last time I cried happy
But
tears. Never thought
but
about
see,
that.
I struggle. That has been like everyone and their mother who knows me well knows this, and literally when I was with Allie the one time in April, we were sitting on the couch and she was just like, "You just like need to like relax. Like you need to like." And the only time, which is gonna sound like I'm like an addict or something, the only time I can really relax is if I'm like on something that, like, totally shuts my brain off. Like, I
Mhm.
struggle, and I told that to eBay man. He's very similar to me, which I don't know if it's, like, a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to, like, 2 entrepreneurs who are, like, high achievers and, like, don't wanna fail.
Mhm.
But I struggle turning my brain off. And that has been, like, my kryptonite, like, in the when we were at dinner, there was no way I couldn't even formulate a sentence, so of course my brain was off. But that is, like, my kryptonite, and I don't wanna be like, "I gotta get high as hell to turn my brain." I don't want that to be, like, a thing I have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so okay, so I used to be that way. And
Mm,
I want to name the fact that it's not wrong. Okay? It's not wrong. Um, I definitely had a season where it was hard to shut my brain off, but that was mostly because I was unfamiliar with what it felt like to just be in my body, to just be there,
Mm.
and to just feel the sensations that I had. I just hadn't really tried it, or when I did try it, there was a lot of things I didn't like feeling, and I didn't really
Mm.
have any way to get through those feelings. I didn't know what I knew, right? So it felt safer to live in my brain. And I think that's a beautifully correct and normal coping strategy that our bodies and our nervous systems have to keep us, even though maybe on the surface, a bit miserable and a bit like I'm just all over the place. keep us alive, keep us safe, right?
Yeah.
It's never that those patterns are wrong. It's that those patterns have like a deeper need that we just either haven't found yet, or we haven't given enough of those like micro moments of evidence to like
Mhm.
peel back the need and the impulse and the pattern to do that. But I very much resonate with that because, I had my medical card from 2020 to, I mean, I didn't renew it when I got pregnant, obviously. So
Mhm.
3 years, I had my medical
Mhm.
marijuana card, and for good reason, but it was 1000% a crutch, 1000% a crutch for me. It was when I was really anxious that came into play. It was when I felt really shut down and just out of control that came into play. It was when I couldn't shut my brain off because medical device job, full-time career. Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to like keep this business afloat, not like chaos. It was what allowed me to have a moment, right? But that only got better for me the more I found safety in tapping in here. And it took a long time, and I'm still doing it. I still feel like
Mhm.
I'm in the very early stages of doing that. One
Mhm.
of the things I just said this on, I think not the most recent podcast episode I did for my podcast, but the one before that. I was in the middle of recording an episode, and this is going to be my next question to you guys. But I was in the middle of recording my episode. I was talking about something, and all of a sudden, I just stopped talking, and I just felt this urge to cry. And the whole thing is recorded on the episode. I like didn't edit it out, and it was gratitude. And that was going to be my next question to you guys: is when is the last time you've ever been struck with a feeling and a moment of gratitude that like quite literally like pulled you from what you were doing and made you just sit in it so much to the point that it made you want to cry? Has that happened?
I wouldn't say maybe all the way to the cry part, but like a couple of nights ago, yes.
Okay. So like that's it. Like that's feeling safe in your body. That's feeling safe in the present. That's feeling like safe to be out of your head when you're getting hit with gratitude like that. So like
Mhm.
you may still struggle with like not being able to turn your brain off. But I also want to point out that if that just happened 2 days ago, you're you're literally on the path to get there, right? And we don't learn the
Mhm.
most and we don't make the most growth and heal the most at the very end of the finish line. Like we literally gain all of the wisdom and knowledge and like evidence with each hurdle that we hop over. So like for you, I love that. Just from some of the conversations that we've had. Like I love that you
Mhm.
felt that 2 days ago, whether it moved you to tears or not. You felt it. You didn't think
Mhm.
it. Oh, I feel
Mm.
grateful today. I'm feeling grateful. You felt it, right? So
Mhm.
that's huge. Like it's those little moments over and over and over again that compound into suddenly you realize you just kind of, I always like to describe it as you just kind of wake up one day and you realize, holy crap, I've lived so much of my life on autopilot. Holy
Mhm.
crap, I've lived so much of my life in my head and just needing to do the next thing and needing to fill the space and needing to avoid the silence and needing to avoid the discomfort. And suddenly all of those things that you used to avoid become the things that you crave the most. And that's a really beautiful place to get to. And I think
Mhm.
paralleling it back to like coaching and health and wellness and like what we want our clients to feel, we're not helping them lose weight to be a temporary thing. We want them to
Right.
be healthier, but that health should start from the inside before it shows up on the surface or a pant size or a scale or a gram or a kilo, whatever it may be, right? And that's like truly throughout even all of my versions of health, one that was almost 100 pounds heavier and also the one that was 95 pounds because she was so traumatized the food would not stick to her body. I've been
Mm.
each end of the spectrum. That whole process, no matter what it was, what I lacked was that ability to just be still, be present, feel what was around me, feel what was in here, and be okay with it, and be willing to meet it where it's at, and also give it what it needs, without shame, without judgment, without questioning. Just, oh, you need this? I got you. Thank you for keeping me alive in
Mm.
this weird 3 decade experience of hypervigilance, trauma, overthinking, and all of these maladaptive coping strategies. Thank you for that. I got you now. Let me take over. What do you need? Oh, you need an app? You're getting an app. Oh, you need to like primal yell in your car and let out some rage? You're doing that. Oh, you want to cry? You're doing that. Oh, you want to go frolic in the grass like a child? You're doing that. it's such a different, like, if we can guide our clients and if we can help women see that, like, true health is that your body
Why
doesn't
am I like crying?
your
Now
body,
it's my turn.
your
I
body doesn't
know.
fight you. Like, your physique is not going to
Yeah.
fight you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a year and a
Yeah.
half postpartum. I mean, I'm not shredded, but I haven't, trust me, I've not really worked hard to like shed the postpartum weight. It's just been, my body has felt safe to change. And I've given it the
Yeah.
very most gentle inputs without shaming it for that week that I truly couldn't get up off the couch, or the week
Yeah.
where the postpartum anxiety was like kicking my ass. It's like, if we can, as coaches, if we can get women to understand that, if we can get them to understand health so much deeper than just the scale, the freaking
Mhm.
scale, that's, you're giving women their power back
Hmm.
Mhm.
that like
Yeah.
that was taken from us at an early age. I don't know what you guys grew up seeing in the diet space.
Not
We
good.
never had
Yeah.
a chance.
Not great.
Yeah.
We never had a chance, right? So
No.
you're giving them something that the IFCA containers, the diets, the plans, the Weight Watchers will never be able to give them. And that's peace and connection back to who they
Mhm.
are, which then on the surface, once you're there living in your body for long enough, you start to inhabit a body that looks and feels healthy,
Mhm.
longevity, sustainability. Is
Mhm.
that the whole point?
Yeah. No,
Isn't
it,
that the entire point?
yeah. That like speaks like so much to my soul because while I simultaneously started my business, I was diagnosed with agoraphobia, and that was the worst probably year and a half of my life. Would still be considered to have agoraphobia, um, because I am limited in certain ways, but I don't like to look at it like that. I have grown a lot, but I was like, I couldn't leave the house for like
Mm,
3 months as a 22-year-old.
mm,
Then the pandemic happened. I'm like this, now I'm this loser at home. My now fiance, I'm like, oh, he's gonna break up with me because like I'm like this pathetic loser. How am I supposed to run a business? I couldn't eat anything. And then 3 months later, I started gaining a fuck ton of weight. Like I was just so unsafe. Everything felt so scary. If I was driving, I'd be like, "You are safe. You are okay. You're gonna make it to
mm,
your destination." It was draining, and so that gave me such an amazing perspective, though, to change the way that I coach
mhm,
because I was able to understand capacity in a different way. I was able to give myself kindness and be more empathetic and really come from a place of like, I have been there. Like, it is not just about tracking your food and doing this sort of bullshit. Like, I see you. You're not happy in your body. Let's work through that. But I'm never going to come from a place of being rigid or judging or anything like that because, like, fuck, like, I still have my days where I'm like, my bachelorette trip, we're leaving later today. Woohoo. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit nervous to go to the bar tonight. Like, I know it'll be fun and my girls got me and it's all safe, but like, I haven't been besides like a month ago, I hadn't been in a bar in like so long. And like if I
mhm.
go anywhere, it's with my fiance. And so like when it's like there's just these challenges that I face and I'm just like, just feel it. Like you are good. I don't judge myself. If I like have a panic attack, which I often do, it's like we got this. Like I got my toolkit, I got my music. Like I really try and come from a space of no judgment. And I think that's why I started to get emotional when you were just talking about like not making things bad and just like you have a very beautiful aura. Like I
Mhm.
feel like very safe in this moment. I'm like I don't know you, but like I literally just feel so safe and seen and yeah, it's just like as health coaches, we have all been through things that push us to want to be more than just the macro coach. Here's the MyFitnessPal hack. Like all this bullshit, like that doesn't matter. That doesn't help anybody.
Yeah. No, I mean, thank you for saying that too. You like got me wanting to cry.
Yeah,
We're all crying.
I was like, Kate, reel it in, reel it in. No, I mean, I really value that because yeah, I mean, feeling safe with someone that's a very critical part of a coaching container as well. So I value that feedback from you. This is your first experience, right? It
Yeah.
felt very different. But yeah, I mean, to your point, like it's you have the tools, you can check in with yourself and say like, hey, just feel this, you're okay.
Yeah.
I think what really struck me about you saying that is like it also sounds like part of the language that you started to adopt for yourself is also like, hey, I'm here, I got you. Right. One of the things that I also have clients do a lot is when we're really experienced, and this is kind of like a tool, maybe you've heard it, you can use it as a tool
Yeah.
if you want. But anyone listening to this, it could be a very valuable tool to think of when you're experiencing really difficult emotions. But one of the things that it reminded me of when you were saying that is one of the best things that we can do when we're in a hard spot is to pull that hardness out of us and remember that it's not who we are, it's what we're feeling in this moment. And if you're visual, I know I've had clients that actually like can't visualize, which was mind
That's
blowing.
wild.
Yeah, right. So
So visual.
I've had to like
Yeah.
adapt some of these tools to like um meet their brains where they are. But like one of the things that you can do is like reminding yourself, like, I'm having a hard experience. I'm not the hard experience. I'm not the problem, but there's a problem inside of me. There's a disconnect happening. There's some need not being met. And if I can figure out what that is, well, then I can reduce the intensity. Because I always tell people, like, if we only stay in the pursuit of trying to fix, well, then one, we're definitely creating the narrative that we're not good enough as we are right now. I went through a season in 2021 where panic attacks were daily. I was extremely dysregulated. That was when I was like 95 pounds. There was some really intense trauma we won't get into. But my system was I did not feel safe. And I was also pre-menopause as well. Like I was showing those signs. So one of the things that I had to do in those moments was remind myself, like, these reactions aren't a reflection of who I am. These reactions are a reflection of something that I've experienced and some type of cycle that my body and my system is still stuck in. Because when we look at the nervous system, the thing that experiences our life and decides that was good, that was not so chill, we're going to make you super like guarded against this moving forward, or we're going to make you super guarded against anything that even shows remotely a similar pattern. If it smells or looks the same or acts the same, no, because hey, this hurt you before. So one of the things that I had to realize is, okay, I'm responding to these situations, but there's nothing wrong with me in this moment. And if we can visualize, like, us as humans, I'm having intense fear, or I'm really stressed, or I'm really overwhelmed. And if we can close our eyes and visualize us in that moment, have a little thought bubble above our heads. And in that thought bubble, you put the language. I'm extremely overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I can't make a decision. Will I ever feel like enough? Whatever the language is. If you can visualize yourself with that thought bubble, and whatever the language is, that's in the thought bubble. And then once you're at that step, then visualize yourself looking at yourself with a thought bubble above your head. So, like, third person it, that creates distance between the very intense emotion that you're feeling and what's actually going on. It's in that distance that you're able to, in like a very logical sense, bring in the part of your brain that's able to think logically, to then give yourself or ask yourself the right questions around what you need. But when you're in it, when we are in the intensity, you guys know, when we are in it, it's like we could be sitting here like this, but it's chaos mode up here and in here. And so if you can just give yourself that distance, it's enough to learn a bit more about it, not fix it, but learn a bit more about it. Where's the pattern in my life that this specific thought and feeling comes up the most? Okay, what do I need to learn about this pattern a bit more? Or what am I missing about this? I'm so focused on fixing this discomfort, fixing this pain. I'm so focused on, I don't want to feel this way, get rid of it, that I'm missing the trigger. I'm missing the pattern of activation that I keep putting myself into. Right. So it's, if you can create the distance what gives you enough space to figure out the root of the problem a bit more, not from a place of fixing, but from a place of learning, from a place of like being the observer of your own experience more than just being the one drowning in your own experience.
Ugh,
Helping, like,
not the drowning.
it's true though. It's true.
It's so true.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Maddie, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I know, and I've probably told you about it. Like, I, for so long, I was like, I will fix this. I will fix this. Like, I cannot be this
Oh.
person.
Hmm.
But then I was telling that to my therapist one time, and he was like, that is very much in your energy, but like, we cannot look at this like we're going to fix it because we're not going to get there the way you want to. And I was like, oh, but like,
Oh.
I have been in situations where my agoraphobia is a burden.
Mm,
And it's been said that it's a lot and intense. So then I take it in and I'm like, well, I'm a fixer. I'm intense. I can fix this. And that's probably like one of the things in my life that I couldn't fix. And I had to come to terms with that it doesn't need to be fixed. It is not something that is broken. And that itself, like when I am having a panic attack, I like talk to myself. I have a playlist on TikTok that like says calms panic. And I go through and I'm like, there's nothing wrong. We are safe. This is discomfort. You will not die. And before it used to be like, I got to get rid of this. Like, this has to go away. And of course, what happens? You're panicking more because you need it to go
mhm.
away. And so
Mhm.
it's such a valuable tool, that visualization. Like, I can so see that in my head, and I'm gonna write that down in my like my notes because I always go to like my tools. And that was awesome. Maddie, have you ever had like some like that kind of experience where like, you're trying to fix something that is not yours to fix?
I think in terms of fixing, like my reactivity has been something that I've wanted to do better at and I
Mm.
guess really fix and not be reactive. I remember like way back when we were talking about like me getting back into dating, I was like, I really want to work on my reactivity
Mm.
before I get back into dating. And you're like, yeah, you probably should. Because like it is kind of a big thing in my last relationship. I look back at that and I'm like, "Who the hell was that?" Like,
Oh, same.
completely different person, and I even told eBay man 'cause we were talking about past relationships. I was like, "I
Yeah.
don't like who I was in that relationship," and he was like, "Well, explain." And I was just saying, like, how I was so reactive because I was trying to control and
Mm.
trying to feel safe by controlling because I didn't feel safe in the relationship, and not
Mm.
because of abuse or anything like that, but because of the own safety I did not receive as a child. And not saying my
Mm.
parents didn't do a great job, but some things you're never going to get all of your needs met no matter what. And that's what happened with my childhood. And I was
Mm.
trying to control that relationship. And which is probably why I lost like 10 pounds out of getting divorced from the stress. And also, like, I've let go of a lot of control.
Uh-huh.
A lot. Let me tell
Mhm.
you, I don't try to really maybe tiny things, but I don't really con I have
There's a
given
change.
yes, I've given up a lot of fucking control
You're
now.
more flexible. You're more
Yes.
flexible.
Yeah, like going to lunch, that was a
The
big
bitch is
deal.
flexible, but I have to remind her, I'm like, we're not building businesses to be at home 24/7. Go
Yes.
enjoy the date, go out, have fun. The work will be there.
Yeah,
But
it's not
like,
going
Yes.
anywhere.
do you
Yeah.
want to live your life just to work and then be this like
No.
older woman and be like, where did my life go? No, you're hot.
Exactly.
Get out there.
Literally. But my reactivity has been the thing that I have wanted to fix, and Lacey reminds me all the time. She was like, I put a negative label on so many things. I'm bad because of this, or I'm not good enough because of that. So the reactivity has turned into me saying I'm bad or I'm lesser or whatever it is. So I feel like the fixing thing has been around reactivity, but I've been watching myself in third perspective of when I do get triggered and get reactive. I'm like, "Oof, why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
How can we step back?" And like
Mm.
me living at home still, my reactivity has gotten up higher again because you get triggered by things you grew up with. And I find myself saying to my mom, like, "I'm sorry, this is not you. I'm just overwhelmed and dysregulated right now. It's just a lot, and I'm just taking it out on you. It's not about you. It's literally a me thing.
Mm.
But that's what I've been like. I don't know if that answered your question, Allie, but that's what I've been teetering with in
Yeah.
my mind.
Well, yeah, it did because we do this and we both remind each other of this. So it'll be like, oh my God, I suck for this, or I'm so bad. It was so bad. And it's like, no, we'll literally go through our text. It's like, no, you are not bad. No. And it's just like, we're in this echo chamber of like, you are not bad. You don't need to fix anything. And like, honestly, super healing because we'll have moments where like, one of us is like freaking the fuck out, losing their shit, and the other person is just like, it's so safe that it's like, I know I can like pop the fuck off and just like get my emotions out or like whatever. And Maddie's like, yeah, I get you. Like, totally understand. Not crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yours, you don't need to fix everything. And it's just like, so, it's so safe to have those people that you can just really hold you to just like an easier place, I think. Like not trying to fix everything, not trying to like
Mhm.
show up and be like the perfect version of who you think you're supposed to be.
I mean,
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I think having people in your life that are not just going to like reinforce the patterns of the things that you struggle with, but instead like remind you of what they probably see in you that you just can't see
Mm,
yet. I think
yeah.
that's incredibly important because it's the difference between like ruminating and finding all of these different avenues to fix one problem that doesn't even have a solution available, which high burnout, right? Like, and instead saying like, okay, well, if I have this much energy today, I can either give it all towards constantly proving the fact that I'm broken in some way or put it towards this like weird thing that this person keeps reminding me of. Well, if they keep saying it, right? It's like exposure therapy. Like if you keep hearing it
Mm,
from someone, you're going to start to kind of hear it yourself, or their voice is going to start to become your voice in a way. I mean, the same argument can be made with a lot of the limiting beliefs that we have. Those aren't
yeah.
ours. We got them from somewhere. It's because we heard them
Mhm.
enough. We were shown them enough.
Mhm.
So it's the
Yep.
same concept. Like one of the points that I make in HBA is like it's not enough to like want to start to believe new things about ourselves, and it's not enough to want to just start new habits and try those things. It's equal parts starting something new and it's equal parts weeding out the old stuff. So I like to use the analogy of like
Mm.
gardening,
Mm.
right? Because how many times I'm going to do this, I'm going to start this. Like I always joke about the Atomic Habits book
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
category of people that read that book. And I'm like, you should just hire me because I guarantee you didn't finish the book, did you? But like it's the same concept of that. It's like, yes, it's important to try to create routines and all of this other stuff. But if you don't also look at the thing that's blocking you from doing the routine in the first place and give just as much energy to the breaking of the pattern, the interrupting of the pattern, well, then all you are doing is dumping way more into a bucket that has a hole in it. And that's what we call burning out at both ends and getting to the point where you just don't want to do anything. And we don't ever realize these things because if we're only living up here and we're not connected to here, we're not aware of what we actually have to give. That's where I've done it. You guys have done it. Everybody literally does it. Our lifestyles and the world that we live in, I also feel like is not a good ally to even the things that I try and help women with because I mean, our phones and what we see on social media, if we want to talk about pattern reinforcers,
Yeah.
there's always something. Oh shit, I just figured out my gut health, but now I got to worry about fucking histamines. Shit, what are
Mm-hmm.
histamines, right? And then you go down a
Mhm.
rabbit hole there, and then you
Mhm.
get to the like, oh man, I got a cycle sync. Like it's just this repetitive like information drip that just reinforces the narrative that you're not ever allowed to just experience who you are right now and let that be enough. And maybe if you just reach
Oh.
like, yeah, it's true though. And maybe if you just reach this like perfect bill of health, maybe in 6 years when your poop is normal and your acne clears up and you're 10 pounds less and you have your 10-step morning routine and you're doing the Pilates and the lifting and you're walking and the red lights and all this stuff. Maybe if you can just get to that point, then you will feel like who you are at that version of you is enough. But what happens? We somehow accomplish all of those goals. Think back to where what got you guys in the health space yourself? Probably part your own journey, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
back to who you were before then. Have you ever really sat and compared who you are now to that version of you and felt that level of pride, even if you're still struggling with things right now? I'll tell you what, I'm not eating enough protein right now. I told my clients, like, I need protein accountability partners because I just don't want to do it. And like, these are the very basic things. But if I look at myself now compared to right before my divorce, when I was literally the most unhealthy I've ever been in my life, I should be so grateful for this version of me that is here right now, even though she's probably eating 30 grams of protein a day, even though she forgets to drink water but can slam 5 Diet Cokes like it's no problem, even though she doesn't want to pick up a weight, but she'll go walk 6 miles outside, even though she doesn't really give two shits about work and just literally wants to lay outside and do nothing. Like, this version of me is still so much enough and so good enough compared to even who I was yesterday. And so it's like, if you can't also recognize that chase, that like, well, I have to keep moving the goalpost of my health, that's not health. It's not
Mhm.
health. It's like self depreciation with an organic label. Like, it's not health
Mm,
at all. And that's the trap that, I mean, depending on who's listening to this, people might be nodding their heads like, wow, that sucks to hear, but it's true. But that's what I
Yeah.
see. Like, that's the conundrum with the health and wellness space. It's the, well, this is the trend now. Because now the trend is, well, my nervous system is the problem. Well, your nervous
Yeah.
system has always been the problem.
yeah.
But also, if you're really struggling and you're really dysregulated, there's actually no problem. It's working. It's doing its job. It's working. Why are we demonizing that? Why are we
Mm,
instead focusing on, well, what could I be giving myself so it doesn't feel like it has to work so freaking hard?
mm,
That's all dysregulation is. We don't have to fix that. We actually just need to
Mhm.
give ourselves more of something else. More
yeah.
play, more rest, more stillness, more pause, more breath, more connection with other people. You don't have to
Mhm.
fix. Maybe you just deserve to have more. Maybe that's
Oh,
Oh,
that's it.
right.
Literally, period, done. That is
Period.
it. Oh, I love that
Oh,
so much. Not me excited to edit the podcast and re-listen to this conversation, just like to sit with
honestly,
my eyes closed. Oh my God, that was good. That was great. Didn't know I was going to feel so I feel like I got
everything.
like an energy jolt. I'm like, yeah,
I
like
feel
I
like this was a coaching session for us.
literally send me the invoice.
I mean, this is I not always. I started doing a background, a monthly background on my phone, a different lock screen and then different
Mm,
home screen. And my June one, what I chose for June was June energy. Choose happiness over worry, rest and solo dates because I deserve it.
fuck yeah.
Remember that this is funny as you just said this. Remember that what you have now is what you prayed for before. Stay kind because sometimes I feel like I can be mean, but I think that's a projection. Because I
We love
found
your
myself
awareness.
I know I found myself saying that again recently, and I was like, "Wait, do I? I don't think I am mean." Let go of tension and flow instead of force.
I mean,
And
period.
I
It's
and it's
like
crazy.
summarizes everything I just said.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like the more I've been getting more in tune, and this is like, I mean, when I first started somatic therapy, were we podcasting already, Allie?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we were. I started like not last summer, maybe the summer before that. So I've been in it for a while now, and it took a year of being in somatic therapy to where I could feel my body,
Yeah.
literally feel my body. And it's just like it's the same thing, I think, also, maybe, probably why a lot of women struggle with the idea of feeling things because it's not immediate. It took me a goddamn
Mm,
year to feel that.
mm,
And can you imagine waiting a year to see the scale change? I mean, you're not going to stick with it. You're gonna
Hmm.
give up really quickly, and it's just like,
mhm,
that is the most important work I have literally ever done for my health, was feeling my body and be able to, like, actually experience things, and I'm still, like, I know I move the goalposts a little bit further every time, but I'm still working on that and feeling more because the idea of walking around like a fucking robot that is cold and doesn't feel anything, like, I would probably just get sick again in a different
mhm,
way.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, 100% you would. And you got to think too, like, you would not attract the type of people that you want to have in your life. Like,
Mhm.
you guys said my energy was safe. Well, it only feels safe because you're feeling my relaxation, you're feeling my
Mhm.
presence, you're feeling
Mhm.
my attention, right? Like
Mm.
it's co-regulation even through a screen. And so to your
True.
point, yeah, like to your point, yeah, the women that are deeply disconnected, it's no wonder why they want to control what they're eating and the scale and their measurements so much. It's because that gives them an illusion of feeling something, but all they're
Mhm.
feeling is a deeper sense of unstable control that they're not really controlling. Like, so yeah, I mean, again, the whole reason why I was like, I cannot coach this way anymore is because I saw that. I saw these women that they're working overdrive to survive. And who am
Yeah.
I to shame that they can't stick to macros for a week? It's not part of the hierarchy of survival for them. Of course, they're going to
Mhm.
reject it. It doesn't matter when they're truly trying to survive the day to day anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it's when you see it, when you can zoom out and see the big picture with the women that we serve, it's like, whoa, okay. Now, how can I guide them to a deeper level of awareness for themselves? Because it's their work, it's their job to do to get there. But if I can just herd them a little bit in this direction
Mm.
and away from this
Mhm.
direction, they have a much higher chance of like grasping on to the right stuff. I think that's what really good coaching, and that's professional coaching too, right? So
Mhm.
it's just the more we can do that, I feel like those are the little ripples that we make
Mhm.
and with people.
Talk to us about HBA because that is
Oh, I would
your
love to.
that
I
is
would love
your other baby.
yes, my other baby. So HBA is a 4-week nervous system experience. I don't always use the word nervous system because for some people they're like, what the heck is that? Even though it's trending. I like to use the word software. So we all have our own software and it's all programmed in a very unique way. How you respond to things is not how I respond to things, but it's a 4-week experience delivered right to your cell phone in the form of a text message. It's 10 out of 10 cool. Nobody else is doing a coaching program like this. I am the first one. I'm the trailblazer per se. But yeah, it's an incredible experience. It's therapist backed. I've had therapists come through it and vouch for it. And the really unique thing about it is it's not just something that comes in and gives you a lot of education, because what I'm not going to do is just encourage people to find answers, but then not apply those answers in their life.
Mm.
So I took a lot of time to figure out what are women struggling with and how could we create more space for them to actually integrate these things, because it's the integration that's lacking. Anybody can find out anything these days, especially with AI. Everybody has the knowledge, but it's how do I take the knowledge out of here and apply it here? So that's what
Mhm.
HBA does. It's what I like to call a capacity builder. There's a lot of different features in it, such as, if it's 3 a.m. and you are doing mental gymnastics over Lord knows what, you have the ability to text a certain word and it sends you an instant tool back, something similar to what the one I described, like the creating distance, right? Doesn't matter literally if it's Friday at 3 a.m., it will send it right back to you. But it's my pride and joy. It's literally 5 years of coaching and everything that I've learned about what women struggle with that has nothing to do with food and diets and workout. I don't talk about that at all, not with a 10-foot pole in HBA. But it's everything else. It's helping women understand why the overwhelm feels as overwhelming as it does. Why does it feel like you're drowning? Where those reactions are coming from, and more than just push them away, act like they don't exist. How can we meet them where they are at, and what do they need to be less loud? I always like to say the difficult emotions we have, they have megaphones, and I'm trying to just give
Mm.
them like a tiny little mic. If we can figure that out, how
Mm.
much easier does life get? If you don't have something
Mm.
shouting at you, life gets a lot easier. So yeah, it's I'm enrolling right now. The next round starts July 14th. Um, I mean, I could preach on it, but it's just hard. It's hard to explain because it's like I don't like calling it a course. I don't like really calling it a program because it's not like anything that I've seen in the coaching space. Um, I guess I could say what clients come in and say after they go through HBAs. They say that everything changes, but nothing changes. Their life doesn't get less stressful, but how they handle it is just night and day difference. And suddenly things just don't feel as hard anymore. That's what HBA is. So,
I like that.
yeah.
We will put in the show notes like a link so you can go to your page and look at HB and all of that. Where can our listeners find you?
My website, or they can easily find me on Instagram. That's where I spend most of my time. However, I'm trying to play on TikTok more. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, but just DM me on Instagram if they don't want to deal with the whole website nonsense. Yeah, I'm always on the gram, ruffling feathers. So
I love that.
posting the
Oh.
polarizing content, I guess. But yeah, just Instagram's fine.
Oh, I seriously love this conversation so much. I know we're gonna be like, Kate, you gotta come back on.
I'll come back
Yeah.
whenever.
Allie, did you want to throw anything in?
No, it was honestly such a good conversation going into a weekend that is gonna require me to be high
Mhm.
energy, and I am very introverted. It always perplexes people. I am a introverted extrovert. Like I love
Mhm.
to have fun and do the things, but I need to come home and be in my bed and like recharge with my cats and my man and just like lay down and not talk to anybody. So
Mhm.
this honestly just gave me like confidence and energy, and I'm gonna like it's what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it. And I think that is probably the beauty of your coaching. Like people are coming to you and they're not even gonna know what the fuck hit them, and it's just like, holy shit, where have you been all my life?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Yeah, I love that the timing worked out to be that for you.
Yeah,
And
it's
enjoy it.
iconic.
Once in a life, it is
Yes.
iconic. But it's like
Yeah.
a once in a lifetime event. So like
Oh fuck
have
yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. We're doing a Bravo night tonight. I've got my bags are packed. I've got a wig. I have this insane outfit, the shoes, the whole thing. I'm like literally so excited. So it's
Awesome.
this is what I needed. So yeah, we will put all of your socials and everything below so you guys can just like scroll down, click if you want to find Kate. And then yeah, like Maddie said, we will have to have you back on again because this was everything. And it was so nice
Mhm.
to like meet you. I always feel like a fool being like, oh, so nice to meet you. And it's like, you're on my screen. But genuinely, it was so nice to meet you.
And absolutely same. And I appreciate it. I'll come back whenever you guys want. I feel like I yapped, but these are the things
No.
I love
Yes.
yapping about these things. So I will willingly yap about them.
We love it. Yapper meets yappers. All right,
Yeah,
guys, we will
literally.
see you in the next episode.